What's up guys and welcome back to Tech Lab. So in a recent conversation with some other YouTubers, we were challenged to do a bit of a budget build off. Now we didn't actually accept that challenge because we generally don't actually get parts that cheap. Due to the nature of our channel, we tend to have items that are a little bit more preserved because we like to buy the box things, so we actually pay a bit more of a premium for them. But after this conversation, we thought why not have a look and see what kind of budget things we can get. Obviously to do that we need to check the local ads, and we also needed to reach out to some friends and people in the community to see what we could get actually cheap. Unfortunately for us, we didn't actually need a budget at all because we were offered several PCs for completely free. Now the three systems we actually did accept and pick up, this is one of the most complete altogether. It's a bit of an older system, it actually uses a Pentium G630 processor, and of course in our usual fashion we wanted to see if we can game on it. So this is an old Advent PC, and it would have been typical of what you'd find as a basic system in an office or a home PC back in the day. From new, it would have come with a Intel Pentium G630 processor, a basic MSI H61 motherboard, 8GB of DDR3, and for graphics it would have actually just used the onboard integrated graphics on the processor. Obviously that's not a lot for gaming, but this system in particular has actually had a bit of an upgrade since then. Whoever owned it before must have put some extras in it. Those new parts are an additional stick of 4GB of DDR3, totaling 12 altogether, and a bit of a graphics card which is a GTX 750. Now that would have made complete sense for this build back in the day because it wouldn't have required any extra power, and the PSU in this is a bit of an unbranded thing that at least it's lasted up till now, but you wouldn't generally trust with a gaming PC. Now the only thing missing from this system was actually a hard drive, and it wouldn't be right if we'd have just gone out and bought one, particularly if we're trying to actually build a bit of a free PC here. So what we did is we reached out back to the community to see if anybody had got an old small hard drive that we could use to just get a copy of Windows running and a couple of games. And to our surprise, we actually got offered something really good. So obviously a hard drive would have made a slower Windows experience, but we got offered one of these. Now this is a 240GB SSD from Western Digital, and it came from one of our community members who had recently upgraded. They didn't know what to do with the drive, so they offered it us for free and they sent it along. So with a hard drive in hand, all we needed to do was simply just plug it in, chuck it in the system and get Windows installed, which is exactly what we did. Now even with that Intel Pentium G630, the operating system was pretty quick on an SSD. We managed to navigate around Windows perfectly fine, but obviously we wanted to see how this thing would game. So the first thing we did was we loaded up a couple of games that are our go-to games to see if the system would play anything at all anyway. First up we had Half-Life 2. Now in high settings 1080p we managed to nearly get about 200 frames per second. It actually played this game really easily and we had a smooth experience, so that is definitely a game you can play even with the processor in this machine. Next up we decided to take a look at Dirt 3. It's a little bit of a newer game, but it's a bit different to Half-Life, and the system itself actually smashed it as well. We managed to average around 70 frames per second, which gave us a smooth, clean experience in gaming. And it was pretty fun as well trying to play on a 2-core 2-thread processor back from the day. Now knowing this machine could actually play some types of games, we could actually go on to then doing some proper benchmarking. And we tried to think to ourselves, what kind of games would you actually try to play on a system like this? Now clearly lots of people are building systems like this or potentially buying them to play esports titles, and that's exactly what we tested. So we put up 5 esports titles that are totally free, which goes really well with the system itself, and this is what we found. So as you can see from those benchmarks, we managed to play all of them games perfectly fine. The biggest one that we had to struggle with was CSGO, and that's because that game doesn't really play as well on older hardware as it used to do. The little 2-core 2-thread processor managed to keep up, and all of those games were run in a 1080p high settings. For the most part, if we'd have reduced the resolution or the graphics quality, we could have easily got a clean 60 frames per second gameplay on all of those titles. And actually it was quite fun to give them a go, because I don't generally play esports titles myself. It kind of opened up a bit of a game range to me. So is it actually worth gaming on a free PC of this quality? Actually, it is pretty good, because the components in this system are not actually any kind of weird proprietary system. You can easily upgrade them, and maybe that's what we'll do. Leave us a comment down below if you think we should upgrade this system and show you the difference in performance, and particularly, do you think we should try to do that for free? Should we try to get an upgrade for this system for totally free and see what the difference is? Now, we hope you enjoyed this video this time, and we hope that we've shown you something that you can actually put together pretty much for free if you just ask. As they say, one man's junk is another man's treasure, and that's exactly what we found here. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you want to see more videos like this, and particularly if you want to comment down below about us doing an upgrade, you won't want to miss that one either. But for now, we're going to go and enjoy some esports titles on our totally free PC, and we'll have a look at those upgrades to see if we can actually get something. But until then, we'll catch you in the next one.